Are younger buyers more serious than agents think, or are we still talking to them like they're 3 years away from buying? I'd pay attention to this. A recent mortgage market report from Intercontinental Exchange showed Gen Z hitting a record share of purchase mortgage locks in the second quarter of 2026, and millennials still made up a major part of the purchase market. So the story isn't that younger buyers disappeared. A lot of them are active. They're just trying to make the math feel less impossible. That changes the agent's job. Younger buyers need someone who can slow the decision down, organize the trade-offs, and make an expensive conversation feel a little less lonely. Before we get into it, hit like if you want more practical real estate strategy like this, subscribe if you're building a sharper business this year, and drop a comment with the buyer question you're hearing most right now. AI can help here as long as agents use it for preparation. Younger buyers often come into the conversation with pressure from a lot of directions. Their budget is one piece, their timeline is another. Then there's the advice they're getting from family, lenders, social media, and whatever they read online the night before. A generic buyer presentation can miss all of that. It may sound organized, and the buyer may still leave thinking, I don't know if this person understands what I'm actually worried about. I'd start by using AI before the consult to build a pressure map. The prompt could be, I'm preparing for a consultation with a younger buyer in market. They're concerned about, insert the main concern. Create a pressure map with the likely emotional concerns, financial questions, decision risks, and topics I should clarify before we talk. Keep it calm, practical, and advisory. Now, the consult has a better starting point. The conversation can move past bedrooms, bathrooms, and pre-approval. You can ask what payment feels responsible, where they have flexibility, and what would make the decision feel safe enough to keep moving. The next move is better questions. Younger buyers often arrive with online research, lender screenshots, TikTok advice, family opinions, and a few assumptions they haven't said out loud yet. If the agent corrects too fast, the buyer can get quiet. AI can help you prepare questions that sound natural. Try this prompt. Act like a buyer consultation coach. Help me prepare 12 questions for a younger buyer who wants to buy and feels nervous about affordability. Group the questions by theme, make them conversational, specific, and easy to ask in a real meeting. A strong question might sound like, when you look at the monthly payment, what number feels responsible to you, even if a lender approves you for more? That tells you more than a maximum price point. Another one, if we had to choose between better location and lower payment, which one would you regret compromising first? Now the buyer's thinking with you. AI can also help agents explain trade-offs without flooding the buyer with more information. A lot of younger buyers already have plenty of information. The hard part is sorting it into a decision they can actually make. The agent's job is to organize the choice, show what each option gives them, what it costs them, and where they may have to adjust. A buyer can usually handle an honest trade-off. What wears them down is trying to compare everything at once. Here's a prompt for that. Help me explain the trade-offs for a younger buyer choosing between option A and option B in market. Compare the practical risks, lifestyle fit, commute impact, inventory reality, maintenance, resale considerations, and negotiation leverage. Write it in plain English so the buyer feels clearer, calmer, and less pressured. This is especially helpful when family money enters the conversation. MarketWatch reported that some younger buyers are using family gifts or loans for down payments. That support can be helpful, and it can bring extra voices into an already emotional decision. The agent needs to keep the buyer centered. The parent may care about resale, the buyer may care about lifestyle, the lender may need documentation. A calm agent helps everyone understand their lane. AI can help the agent prepare the conversation without making the buyer feel judged. Use this prompt. Create a family gift conversation guide for a younger buyer using possible family help for a down payment. Include lender questions, family discussion points, documentation reminders, and buyer comfort check-ins. Keep the tone respectful and neutral. The buyer agreement conversation also needs more care now. NAR guidance says MLS participants working with buyers need a written agreement before touring a home, including in-person and live virtual tours. A lot of younger buyers won't know that until the agent explains it. A younger buyer may hear the word agreement and get cautious. That doesn't mean they're difficult. They may be trying to understand what they're signing, how compensation works, and whether they still have room to ask questions. Use this prompt before the consult. Help me prepare a calm explanation of why we review the buyer agreement before touring homes. The buyer is first time, skeptical, anxious, or already researching online. Explain the purpose of the agreement, the questions they should ask, and how I can make the conversation transparent and low pressure. Keep it clear, human, and compliant. The goal is to help the buyer understand representation before emotions get attached to a house. Once they're standing in a kitchen they love, every conversation carries more weight. The next opportunity comes after the consult. This is where a lot of younger buyers drift. The meeting goes well, the buyer seems clear, and then they leave with too much floating around in their head. By the next day, they're back on their phone trying to piece it together alone. AI can help you send a better recap faster. Use this prompt. Turn these buyer consultation notes into a short recap email. Include what we learned, the buyer's top decision criteria, the next 2 steps, and the questions we still need to answer. Keep the tone clear, reassuring, and professional. A good recap gives the process a shape. The buyer can see what was decided, what still needs work, and what happens next. That lowers the chance they drift, ghost, or go back into research mode without you. This connects directly to CRM. NAR's technology survey showed agents adopt technology mainly to save time and improve the client experience, and CRM remains one of the top lead generation tools. For younger buyers, follow-up can't feel random. It should match what they actually said they cared about. If payment is the fear, the follow-up should help with payment context. If commute is driving the decision, the follow-up should help compare areas. If family help is part of the plan, the next message should help them prepare the right lender questions. The follow-up should prove you listened. This is where AI helps most. It can draft, organize, compare, and recap. The advisor still has to read the buyer. Are they excited, embarrassed, cautious, confused, or trying to make everyone else happy? That emotional read changes the conversation. And this is the kind of work we keep coming back to inside the Real Edge Network. The tools and buyers are changing, but the best agents are still the ones who can turn confusion into clarity for the person sitting across from them. AI can help you prepare. Your judgment is what makes the preparation feel human. So here's the action step. Before your next younger buyer consult, run 1 pressure map prompt, 1 question prompt, and 1 recap prompt. Keep it simple. Use AI to show up calmer, ask better questions, and send a follow-up that makes the next step obvious. If this gave you something useful, hit like, subscribe, and drop the buyer question you want help explaining in the comments. And if you want to talk through what better buyer advisory systems could look like inside your business, use the links below to start a zero-pitch conversation with us. I'll see you on the next one.